Happy Christmas from my log cabin. Happy Christmas, December 2020. I have just bought a pair of Sealskinz socks off Amazon. I've wanted a pair of these for a long time, actually. And I'll tell you why. Because I used to use old Army Gore-Tex socks. They were standard issue when I was in the forces. It was a long time ago. They finally died on me because the taping's come off. They're pretty basic anyway. Now, I have used for about the last 7 years a pair of Caramore boots, full leather. These have served me bloody well, and Caramore is a good brand. If you can buy, if you get boots with Vibram soles, they're a very good make of sole, and obviously you get different brands of different boots with different soles on. Now, this is not about the boot. What I want to show you is I have a crack now in the boot here, and so I walk about 7 miles every night, sometimes longer, sometimes 30 miles of training. I make adventure documentaries, that kind of thing, so I like to do a lot of walking to keep my fitness up, and also it's great for the soul and great for clearing your mind. What I will say, very briefly, a tip on boots: when you get boots, wear them for a week in the house, clean, wear them in, and it gives the boot time to adjust to your foot, and your foot to mold into the boot, and the leather to, for the leather to adjust and sort of soften, so to speak. Now, I think I got this crack in the boot because I force dried the boot once. I would never put, after walking, if your boots get wet, I would never put your boots too close to a radiator where the heat is too intense, because that is one big thing that can damage the leather and cause it to split. So the good thing is, put newspaper in the boot, dry it at a decent distance from a radiator, and let it dry, slowly and naturally. I've obviously made the mistake. I often learn from mistakes. That's why I like to think I always give really good practical advice. So here the leather has split, but that could also be from literally wear and tear, where my toes have moved in the boot over time, and it's caused the front of the boot to go up and down. Anyway, so always put a lot of dubbing or really good leather polish on your boots as well to keep the leather supple. Right, so it's not about the boot, but there's obviously a great big bloody hole in the boot. So where I live, we get a lot of bridleways, and at the moment, because it's December, winter, in the UK, the tractors are using the farm trails, which causes the trails to have deeper ruts in, and when we get a lot of rain, those ruts can sometimes be full of water up to about half a foot deep. Right, so without boring you about details about the countryside, I really wanted these socks because I want to be able to go up the trails now, and I know the boots are going to get wet because I went out in normal socks last night and my feet were completely soaked when I got back. The boots are damp and they take forever to dry out, and I'm due a new pair of boots, but until then I want to be able to go out, really enjoy walking, keep my feet dry, and not worry about the boots being absolutely soaking wet. So I got these socks. What I want to tell you about them is, be advised, there are many different types of sealskin socks. Okay, so just flicking through the Sealskin website, I'm not an affiliate for Sealskin. It's just something I've really wanted to try out. Just be advised, they make socks for cyclists, for walkers. They make different socks for different seasons. The ones that I've ordered are these ones are the waterproof cold weather mid-length sock. Those are the ones that I bought. Because I didn't want to. The main lengths of the socks that they do are ones that sit just above the ankle, which I don't want because I know that the water's going to go higher than my ankle in the boot, and I didn't want the full length. They do they do a full knee length sock, which I don't want either, because I don't want the length of my lower leg getting too hot. They also do ones with a hydro stop band at the top of the sock, which I also didn't want, because I've read the reviews, and some people who have bought this sock say the band's too tight and it's kind of affected their circulation a little bit, and I obviously don't want that. So I got these ones, mid-length, which I know are going to sit at a pretty decent height above the top of my boot, and hopefully, you know, keep the water out. I bought them off Amazon. The ones I bought were £35, $35.99. And in a moment, I'm going to go out to a local stream. We've had a lot of rain lately, so I'm going to go out to a local stream, and my friend Rob is going to film me submersing my whole boot with the socks on under the water. I've mixed. What I want to tell you is I'm really nerdy about research. I've got this attitude of an air of suspicion about every bit of gear and product I buy, and I prefer to analyse everything from a distance, move in with my decisions, and then buy something that I really think could be a brilliant bit of kit. I've filmed all around the world in jungle locations, different environments, desert, so I do spend a lot of time thinking about what I buy, kit. I'm a cameraman, I make travel documentaries, so I really think carefully about what I take with me to different climates and what's practical. At the end of the day, I only want stuff that's practical and that's going to give me a good, at least a year's use. Now, on the Amazon website, I read the reviews for these socks, and they are mixed reviews. The majority of people are saying they were absolutely thrilled with them, and they kept their feet completely bone dry when submersed in walking through rivers and streams. I shouldn't say rivers because the water would be too high, but you know, they were sort of mentioning streams and bogs and such like. And there were one or two reviews that basically said that they felt the socks failed them after the first or second attempt. Now, obviously, that's frustrating when you're reading reviews, because you're looking for reviews to find confidence in the product. However, you know, who's not to know that person might have had grit in their boot or something of that nature. So I've gone and bought these socks. I'm going to try them out, and what I will say is, you know, check your boot before you put your feet in with the socks on. Make sure there's no sharp twigs in there, thorns, fragments of grass. You know, just use your common sense, basically. Just use your common sense. And but generally, the reviews for the socks are really positive. Okay, here we go. Down to the water's edge. I didn't particularly want to do this in the dark, but I'm off to a foreign country for 2 weeks tomorrow, so time has been difficult. Oh, Robbie, I'm going to pass you the camera.
I'll just stand here and do it.
And you can just keep it rolling. Watch the mud on this bank, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not going down there.
No. Okay.
You're the one with the Sealskinz socks on, not me.
Am I in focus?
Yeah.
Alright. It's night time, as I said. I wanted to do it in the day, but I'm off travelling tomorrow and time has been short, so I'm going to pull the socks up. I've done the laces up, but not too tight, because in this experiment I want to allow the water in. So trousers up, socks up, boot in. Let's just hope it's high enough.
Hang on, you want to say something before you put...
No, not really. Right. Oh, there we go. Oh. Yeah, amazing. So I've just...
You have to put your head down if you want to be on camera. Yeah, like
so I can feel...
a bit further down.
Yeah, I can feel the coldness of the water. So now the boots, feel free to zoom in, Rob. Do you want to zoom in with the lens? Just twist the lens, mate. That's it. You zoomed in?
Yeah.
Alright. Have you got my legs here?
Yeah.
Okay, good man. So hopefully the camera can see can you see from the camera the boots completely underwater?
Yeah.
Boots completely underwater, fast flowing, you know, swollen UK stream. It's about just under a foot deep there. Socks pulled up tight. I will admit, I just put my right foot in. It went above the sock then as well, but actually this left one is still dry at the top. That's not gone completely under, that one did. But I still cannot feel water inside that one. So what I'm feeling right now is I'm feeling the cold of the temperature of the water, but my feet are still completely dry. Alright, Rob, so you got that all in focus?
Yeah.
So that's the first experiment. Boots 100% under the water, feet still dry. And it feels strange, you know. They feel damp and.
Let's have a look at them.
So they feel wet and cold. And my feet are dry. Now I can't get up the bank again.
Do you want a hand up?
So what I'm going to do now, just zoom back out again, Rob. What I'll do now is I'll wear these socks for a couple of weeks, constantly, probably 7 miles at least every other day walking, and I'll keep testing them to give you know, a really genuine result over time, which is what everyone wants really, for practicality, to know if these things will last at least a good 6 months, you know, or longer. There you are. See what happens.
It's great, this camera with the lighting is amazing. With the,
yeah, it's good, isn't it? So I'm walking back across the field from the...
Is this on?
Yeah, it's on, yeah. It's just a very cheap head torch compared to my mountaineering one. Yeah, I'm literally just stepped out of the stream, walking back across the footpath. And what I will say is, as soon as you have stepped out of the stream and your sock, you know, your boots are completely soaked with water in between the sock and the boot, they do feel cold, and it's weird because they do feel waterlogged. You do still feel like, you almost feel like your feet are wet, but they're not, they're just cold. And it's a sort of a bit of a kind of plasticky feeling, almost a little bit like your feet are each foot is in a plastic bag tied up, but they are dry. Well, I'm going to go back to the house now and test them, see how dry they are. But yeah, they do feel cold, but obviously that's to be expected. So I'll go back now and peel the socks off gently and just see if my feet are still dry. Yeah, I love it, mate. I do a lot, as you know. Alright, well, if you take the camera.
Got it recording?
Yeah, it's shooting. And if you just step up onto the mat here, I'll walk into my log cabin. Okay, you step there, Rob. Alright, folks, what I'm going to do is take the boots off. You got the boots in focus, Rob?
Yeah.
Let's see. Now, admittedly, I did rush into that stream and put the right foot in first, and the water level did go above the brim of the sock here. So, to be fair and to give a really honest experiment, you know, for it to be an honest experiment, I do expect the inside of this foot to be wet because the water went above the sock. So we'll just see. My feet do feel cold, and they do kind of feel waterlogged, but it's just a sensation of them feel cold. Oh look, is that in focus, Rob?
Yeah.
Dry? Oh my god, yeah, completely dry. That foot is 100% dry. And I actually thought some water had seeped in over the brim, you know, because the water, because I went in too deep on that sock, because I'm just a slightly excited child. That foot, honestly, is completely dry. Really genuine about that. I'm sorry that you have to fall in love with my foot. That is completely dry. So this one's got to be. So you can see the socks completely damp on the outside. If I squeeze them, you know, you can see the texture of water on the outside.
There's it's not like wringing out water, is it?
No, not really. No, it's not like a sponge, but it basically they feel like a wet flannel. So you know, if you take a flannel, the small piece of cloth used for washing yourself, it feels exactly the same as a wet flannel on the outside. And you know, my feet do feel cold, but that is, as I say, because of the temperature of the water. I'll peel back the fabric. That's completely dry. That's completely dry. That's awesome. You can see, I don't know if the camera can pick that up, but hopefully the camera can actually see the fabric's dry. And the elastic around the top's nice and tight as well, not too tight. And that's why I wanted to get this pair, because I didn't want the ones with the so-called water band around the top, because I read reviews that they are affecting people's circulation. Or, you know, one review at least. Man, my feet are completely dry. That's so cool. Can you see that?
Yeah.
Does the camera see that my foot's dry?
Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely 100% dry. Nothing around the toes. You know? And I've got really horrible nails at the moment because they've got mud from when I wore my wet socks the other day. The mud actually got so far inside the boot from the old socks that weren't waterproof. I got mud under my nails. But yeah. Feet are 100% dry, so there you go. I just hope that's a really genuine testimony to Sealskin. These boots, I don't know if the camera can pick it up, we've got a really nasty crack there, like I was saying earlier before I left the hut, and the boots are completely waterlogged. I put in, I clean the insole first as well before putting the socks on to make sure there's no hard grit in there that could damage the sock. But there you go. I'd like to think that's a really honest, down to earth, practical experiment. Feet 100% dry. There we are.
Alright.
Yeah, enough said.
Where's your...
Yeah, I'm pleased.